Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name? You do have a name.
My name is Gladiator.
The acclaimed director of Gladiator and other movie classics has turned his attention to another great warrior. From Paris, Mark Phillips is in conversation with Ridley Scott.
Prepare to fire! Fire!
Any casual student of history knows how the story of Napoleon Bonaparte ends. Waterloo, 1815. After more than 2 decades of dominating European battlefields and European history, Napoleon was finally confronted by an enemy he couldn't outmaneuver, outgun, or outsmart.
Never surrender! For homeland and glory!
Napoleon, that once obscure outsider from Corsica, the artillery officer who through ruthlessness and cunning rose to rule France and to conquer much of Europe, died defeated, in exile, and alone. His remains now lie in this grand tomb in Paris, a testament to an emperor who brought glory and then destruction to his own country. But history and Hollywood aren't finished with him yet. Have you been to this place before? Have you been to
never.
Director Ridley Scott decided his epic take on Napoleon, played by Joaquin Phoenix, would be less another history lesson and more a character study. Where do you start on a story as big as Napoleon?
You've got 10,400 books to start. There's one book written every week since he died. By the time you get book 1,000, dude, I think it's got to be a lot of speculation.
So all these historians that have piled on you saying, you know,
No,
Antoinette's hair wasn't that long,
I'm not going to walk into that death trap. Are you kidding me? So, sorry, beep. We then glean the best of the best. So I don't think it's a history lesson. I think it's a character study with violence, with action, with everything you've got. I think you've got everything in there.
Wait! Let them think they have the higher ground.
The history books are full of Napoleon's triumphs.
Send in the infantry! Take their position on the higher ground!
But there was another aspect of his life that Scott thinks history hasn't stressed enough.
Why are you staring at me?
Am I?
Yes?
I was not.
Oh, you weren't.
Josephine, the aristocratic widow who became Napoleon's obsession, wife, and empress.
What was most telling were the letters of Bonaparte to Josephine, because I wanted the centerpiece of the story not to be just about battles, but about why this Achilles heel toward this woman, which is not about sex, about social graces. She could lead him into a room where he didn't know how to walk. She could do that.
You want to be great.
She may have also been, according to Scott, the only person to tell him to his face what he really was.
You are just a brute that is nothing without me.
You make him out as a bit of a bumbler in his love life.
Well, bumbler on a personal level, but in the military level,
no.
Gifted.
Right. But do you draw a connection between the two? We go back to this idea of the Napoleonic complex, that it's somehow compensation. The reputation is that he was a little man, and now we refer to little men with grander ambitions as having Napoleon.
You know, I think that's the popular concept, but when he's that successful, who gives a Are you joking?
Ridley Scott has no complex about his own success. Do you consider yourself a kind of bankable Hollywood grandee now?
Like that?
Like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be allowed to do this. Are you kidding? The old geezer's doing this now.
Scott has a long list of epic movies that have become classics.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Gladiator, Alien, Thelma and Louise,
Officer, I am so sorry about this. Would you let go of that?
Black Hawk Down,
They're shooting at us! We'll shoot back! Move! Get out of the way!
and Blade Runner. which bombed at the box office at first, but has become a cult classic. Has some of the stuff that you've done that you've liked best become some of the stuff that hasn't done quite so well, if we're speaking in pure box office
I like
terms?
everything I've done.
You love everything.
Everything. And so I think you're all wrong.
It's no accident that Sir Ridley, as he now is, has always made movies with powerful and lasting visual imagery. He's a trained artist who has always sketched out on storyboards exactly how he wants his movies to look. That infamous creature birth scene in Alien looked like this before it looked like this. Those gladiators were drawn on paper before they hit the big screen. And that Waterloo battle scene took almost comic book form before the cameras rolled.
Roberta, George! George!
The storyboards, he says, are what convinced investors to back his movies.
That's the power of a storyboard, because the board...
On the basis of the storyboard?
On the board, the budget doubled. They went, wow.
Because they could see what it was going to look like.
Yes. Interesting. A lot of the business is run by those who can't see it and those who try to see it.
Odd in the movie business, I suppose.
Again and again.
Hey, Marco.
Ridley Scott is 85 now. He didn't make his first movie until he was 40, having made TV commercials before that. And he's already got 2 more projects underway. One of them, Gladiator 2. You got to keep on doing this. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah?
Why not?
What do you got? I don't know. What do you got left to prove?
Well, the fact I love doing it, that's the difference.
You won a lot of awards. You famously haven't won an Oscar.
Yeah, but who gives
But,
I really don't care.
No.
I mean, to me, to be allowed to do it is the most important reward. You know, I just love storytelling.
especially stories like this.
The battle is mine. There will be an end to the war.